Yo, so why are these rich people down in education all of a sudden? Even my man Patrick Brett David over there down in education. What's up with that? We're gonna chat about it, man. We're gonna chat about it. We're gonna tear it down because this is just not cool. Selling on Amazon has absolutely changed our lives. You wanna know something? We're gonna help you guys get there too.
All these people are talking about wanting to sell you a lifestyle. We're here to sell you a life.
Yo, so what's up, guys? It's the Dropshipping Terminator. If you're new, welcome to the channel. If you guys didn't know, me and my partner, the Dan is Still, we talk all about e-commerce, man, and Amazon FBA, private label drop shipping, a little Shopify here and there, all types of stuff. You know, you like that, make sure you stick around, subscribe, click the little notification bell so you can get all that stuff, get all the updates and everything. Make sure you get into the free Facebook group below because we drop all types of information on you in there as well. So for all you regulars, man, you know what time it is. Let's go ahead. Let's get right into it. Mr. Brett David had some choice words for education.
Today I'm going to make a case to you why I believe 80% of college students ought to drop out, and I'm going to make a case why it makes sense.
And before we go ahead and get into that, we're going to, pull out the slides, get into the little points and shoot, so to speak, to blow that up. But yeah, man. So there's people on either side of the camp, right? There's going to be people pro education, formal education, like, college, universities, trades, so on and so forth. And then, people who say it's a bunch of hooey and you shouldn't go and blah, blah, blah. Generally, like, liberal arts majors are the ones that will say degrees are worthless. And in their case, they're probably right. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to break that down for you guys. And we're going to talk about why. Because you guys know that me and Dan are both engineers. We both have, our degrees, and it was well worth it. I went to Penn State. He ended up going to Pitt. Two rival schools. Somehow we ended up being friends and business partners. Imagine that. But oh well, let's go ahead. Let's get into today's lesson. Let's talk about this. You guys are gonna stick around for this one. I want you guys to, drop some comments, man. Talk about all that good stuff. I want you guys to voice your opinions because, man, you guys don't really voice your opinions enough. Tell us what you think about this whole education debate. Sound off down there. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. Mr. Patrick Brett David is wrong about education. So you guys just please don't be fooled on this, okay? Do not be fooled when it comes to education or the lack thereof, all right? Now, his points, they can be very valid, and, I will give him kudos where they are due, all right? So, he was talking about IBM, Google, Apple, all this stuff. Major companies no longer require degrees when selecting applicants. Now, while this is true, you may not need a degree to get your foot in the door for like a lower level education. You can bet your sweet ass that there are no top tier executives, no top tier engineers, I don't think there's a level 2 or 3 engineer at Google that does not have their undergrad or an advanced degree, period, end of discussion. All right. Want to know how we know? Because me and Dan were both recruited by Google. Okay. We were recruited. We still have the letters. I'm just not going to work at Google because I'm not working 80, 90 hour work weeks. Like, yeah, you make $180,000, $200,000 a year, but you're living out in California where the average home, at least in that area, is like $500,000 and you're getting like 1,100 square feet. Why would I do that to myself? I can go spend $400,000 or $500,000 here and get a home that's, 3,000, 4,000 square feet. Just makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, so right off the bat, that's kind of a bunch of hooey. Maybe in like 5 or 10 years, there'll be more top tier people without degrees. But as it stands now, you are not gonna get in and compete from some kid at USC or UCLA or who went to like LSU or some CUNY college, CUNY out in New York. Like, you're not. Like, you're just not gonna be able to compete if you go in there and you're like, oh, I got a boot camp, training certificate for like 6 to 8 weeks of learning how to code. Like, granted, that's good. Granted, that's nice and it'll help you get your foot in the door in a lot of places, but you're going up against kids who have a strong foundation in computer science or computer engineering, who know everything from like neural networks, algorithms, structures, physics, chemistry, calculus, all these things that make for a better engineer. It's not just coding, guys. It's not just, coding and being done with a job. Like, as far as engineering goes, there's a wide breadth of things that you need to know and things that you need to be able to accomplish, okay? Like, you guys know that I'm a software engineer, Dan's a network engineer. Could someone come in who just knows how to code and do my job? Definitely not. Like at the company I work for, you can't. You have to have a very, very strong understanding of the whole engineering process, period. You can't just come in there and be like, I know JavaScript and that's it. Like, there's a lot more that goes into those types of things than just coding. And what Patrick is saying, but Mr. Brett David is saying, sorry, I shouldn't be calling you Patrick. You are definitely well above me when it comes to that. So Mr. Brett David, give you the respect that you deserve. I believe that you're wrong on that. And those are my points. Why? He also mentions that, that degrees are obsolete in a few years. He mentioned that a computer science degree is obsolete in about 3 years. And that's absolutely a bunch of hooey as well, okay? And my degree is not obsolete, okay? My degree got me into the door to learn all these things. It gave me a very strong foundation so I can continue self-learning. You never stop learning. If you go get a degree and do nothing, you stop learning after that point, that's your fault. And yes, your degree will become obsolete because you didn't learn any new skills along the way, okay? If you're constantly learning, you're constantly building new skill sets, you're constantly, enhancing your mind, that degree isn't obsolete. That degree taught you how to think like what you're going to become. A degree does not make you an engineer or doctor or a lawyer or any of that stuff, all right? Like, what you do with that is what makes you what you are. It's just teaching you how to think. That's why they call medicine the practice. You're constantly practicing to get better, okay? Being a lawyer, you're always practicing to get better at law. An engineer, we're always basically practicing to get better. We're always learning new skills to get better at our jobs, to be more efficient, okay? It's not obsolete, okay? Just not. He's saying like, oh, colleges can't change fast enough and this and that, which in most cases, large sweeping changes to curriculum, that is true. Okay, large sweeping changes to a curriculum, not gonna get done overnight. There's literally no way that it can get done. It's just not gonna happen. But where I went, the curriculum was always changing. Like, we were adding courses all the time. Like, there was an AI class that was not there, my freshman year. They were diving into neural networks, virtual reality, things of that nature. And they were constantly adding to keep up. Like, hey, we don't do any Perl here. Maybe we should have a Perl course for people who want to learn that. Maybe we should learn Ruby on Rails or something along those lines. There was always things being brought up. If the students want it, generally a university is gonna be more accommodating to it if there's enough interest in it and it's gonna help you get a job, okay? College is not just getting a piece of paper for a lot of people. It's networking, all right? I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't met the people that I met while I was at college, while I was at university, period, all right? Everyone knows I give all the kudos in the world to, the head of our department, Mr. Oaks. Joe, I love you. If you ever watch this, you were one of the biggest inspirations on my life. And without you, me and my kids would not be where we are today. I would not be here. I completely owe you all my success. This man basically spoon-fed me everything that I needed to know. Everything. He took me under his wing. He mentored me. He coached me. And then put me in touch with everyone that I ever got an internship with, that I ever got a job offer from, all right? College is a great place to network, and college can be everything that you want it to be, and then a lot of the things that you don't. Like, I didn't want to take a bunch of BS courses, but I ended up having to, and they got on my nerves. Mr. Brett David also mentions that companies are starting their own programs, and in this case, this is true, okay? This is true. A lot of companies, like Google and so forth, are starting their own like coding programs, but typically, those programs will be for people that have some type of background, or like young guys that'll come in and they'll have like a comp sci degree or something along those lines, or they'll have a degree in something else that maybe physics, and they'll have these programs where they'll be like, hey, look, we're going to help you get up to speed in like the computer engineering world. We know you have the aptitude because you have a physics degree, you're very intelligent. We're going to try to help you out and get you to the next level. And that's generally what those programs are for. Like, we have a lot of like engineering leadership programs, things of that nature, at my company and other companies that I work for. And they help, all right? They do help. They help you get up to speed in certain areas. They help get your technical acumen up. They're good for a lot of things. They're not taking like random people off the street and they're trying to turn them into, developers or engineers or whatever. Like, that's generally not how that works. Companies are starting their own programs, but they're not for people coming right off the street who don't have the aptitude to learn that, okay? So like you can kind of take that with a grain of salt, because I'm in the industry and so is Dan, and this is kind of how we see it, and this is what happens. And he also mentioned schools are outdated. This one I have to give it to him. Okay, schools are outdated as a whole. The college structure is outdated. It is old. It's antiquated. I can't deny that. Okay, but there are things that are not old and antiquated and outdated. Okay, like I was saying, a lot of the curriculum, as far as like engineering and stuff like that goes, they're always trying to stay fresh, guys, because they know that technology changes so fast, and their students have to be ready. Okay, these kids are paying $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year to get this piece of paper down the line. They have to make sure that these kids have skills that are viable to help them get jobs. Because guess what? If their employment rates for those graduates drop, who do you think is going to go to that college to pay $60,000, $70,000 a year? If they're like, hey, 50% of our graduates go on to get jobs in their selected career fields, no one's going to go to that college. Nobody. Okay, the reason I picked my school is because their success rate is ridiculous. Penn State has the largest alumni network on the face of the planet. Okay, I work with a bunch of Penn State grads. My last company, I worked with a bunch of Penn State grads. The company before that, I worked with a ton of Penn State grads. Everywhere I go, there are Penn State grads. People in my neighborhood all went to Penn State. There's Penn State flags everywhere. There's Penn State license plates, whatever. Networking is fantastic, okay? It is absolutely fantastic. But when it comes to being outdated and antiquated, a lot of the institutions are. Their teaching methods are outdated. A lot of places are just now getting, set up with, I want to say web-based learning. A lot of campuses still don't have like a really good online, course structure or online degree program. And you see people moving towards that. Okay, there's universities that are moving towards that are trying to help people out, for like older learners or people that can't make it to campus every day, or kids who just party too hard and they're hungover and can't make it to an 8 a.m. class. Whatever. But that I do have to agree with him on that one. Things are outdated, and the school system does need to change somewhat. I think that the school system should follow more of like a trade structure. Give you all the things that you need and not a lot of the stuff that you don't. Like I didn't need Paleolithic history. I'm never doing anything with that. Like, I mean, it's gee whiz information, and I guess it's kind of nice to know if you're going to be out on a date and you want to like amaze a chick with something, who knows? I don't know what I'm ever going to use it for, but whatever, I kind of have it. But there are intangibles that college or a trade school can help you with. And, I feel that, when people down formal education, they don't necessarily know about it. They haven't really been. A lot of the people that are downing it have never been to a major university. They don't have engineering degrees or PhDs or MDs or JDs or DOs or PsyDs or any of that stuff. They don't have degrees in fields that are going to pay. Now, granted, he is right. College is a waste of time and money for a lot of people that are going to choose some liberal arts degree. If you're going to get an English degree, unless you're going to be an English teacher, I'm so sorry, you're probably not going to make a lot of money. If you're going to go get a history degree, criminal justice, psychology, if you're not planning on getting your master's or a PsyD right off the bat, you're not going to make a ton of money. I know so many people that have gone into psychology because they want to help people fix their problems, and they make absolutely no money, like none. They're $60,000 in debt and they make $40,000 a year. That doesn't even compute. Okay, let's just be real here. So in some ways, college is a waste. Okay, not saying it's going to be a waste for everyone, but in a large scenario, it will be a waste for a lot of people who don't necessarily apply themselves or know what they want to do. If you're going and getting like a general business degree from people that have never ran a business, that doesn't make any sense, does it? If you're going for a business degree with a concentration in accounting, finance, marketing, something like that, then yes, that's going to be very important, because those skills are going to help you down the line when you get your CFP and you take like your Series 51s and all that stuff. I think was it Series 7, 51, something else, to get all your certifications. So again, guys, college is going to be what you make it. If you go pick some BS degree, chances are you're going to have a bad time, and it's going to be a waste of money for you, just like Mr. Brett David said. But for the majority of people who actually know what they're doing and they pick degrees that are going to be worthwhile, something in STEM is always good. or, you know, that's just what it is. Maybe medicine. I guess they can fall under, you know, science, but sure. But yes, guys, you know, that's my my thoughts, my bone to pick with Mr. Brett David. You know, not saying that he is wrong and everything, but a lot of the things that he talked about are definitely, you know, misleading. The degrees are not going to be obsolete if you continue to advance your skill set. You pick a school that has a good curriculum, something that kind of suits you. I'm not saying go to some $100,000 a year private school that's kind of stupid. You know, you can go to Penn State or Rutgers, you know, school like that, public institution, get a great education, and chances are you'll get the exact same job that you would if you went to a very, very expensive school, very expensive school like UPenn. So, you know, you can take it how you will. I actually work with people who went to UPenn, and, you know, like my student loan debt is infinitely smaller than theirs. You know, they have like 8 times the student loan debt that I have, and we have the exact same job. So that tells you something right there. But yeah, guys, so that's it. You know, hopefully you guys stuck around, you know, watch the video and all that good jazz. You know, if you guys like it, make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Click the little notification bell so you can get updated. And yeah, be on the lookout, man. Get into the free Facebook group below. Make sure you guys are, you know, safe out there. Be smart. Don't get into any trouble, because you're gonna ruin your chances in the future. You know, don't do like I did and have kids when you're, you know, not even old enough to be freaking driving or have hair on your face. So yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.